Sapulpa Police and the Highway Patrol worked hand in hand during that chase. News on 6's Taylor NEWCOMB talked with the two agencies about how they coordinate during big cases. Taylor?
Craig, since the chase technically started here in the Sapulpa area, Sapulpa officers were the primary leads on the chase until they voluntarily handed it over to OHP. But just because they do that doesn't mean their jobs are over. Sapulpa officers followed chase suspect Jerry Newman through Sapulpa into Tulsa. At one point, Newman sped down I-44, exiting at Harvard and heading up to 36th Street North. That's where OHP got involved. But Sapulpa units stayed on pursuit, even when the truck crashed through a fence and careened onto active runways at Tulsa International.
They continued into Tulsa. They continued on to the airport with the other units. They just became a secondary once OHP took over.
It's standard for the original agency to be the lead on a chase.
Now, if there's a situation where we lose sight and another agency picks them up, then they would take over lead.
OHP Trooper DWIGHT says even with protocol for chases like this, it can be hard to follow.
With these pursuits, we recognize how dangerous they are, and they're fluid, and they change instantly, depending on the weather, going the wrong way, traffic, pedestrian conditions, and things like that.
That's exactly what happened today. The suspect hopped a curb and began speeding down busy Highway 75, going in the wrong direction. That's when all units decided to pull back and exit the highway.
These pursuits are terrifying. They're terrifying to the troopers and the officers that are involved in them. All I can say is that these pursuits are fluid. They change. We recognize the dangers. We've seen the dangers.
DURANT says the truck had already crashed by the time they were able to get back up onto the highway, but he says they made the best decision they could in a very difficult situation. Live on the scene on the story in Sapulpa, Taylor NEWCOMB, News on 6.